Hi ladies and welcome back to my channel. So today I really want to talk about this topic. I know the title looks super toxic. Um but the more I get into the video, I think the more you're going to understand what exactly I'm trying to say. But yeah, women have to train men like from the beginning. It's like dogs, okay? With dogs, how you train them from the beginning, that's how your dog's going to be. If you're going to let your dog just pee around and poop everywhere, don't expect him to all of a sudden, once he grows older, change. Like, that is what he's used to. It's very hard to get the dog to actually be trained afterwards. It takes a lot of time. Now, with men, it's the same thing. I don't want to compare them to dogs, but with men, it's even worse because they actually don't change. A dog can change, a man most likely won't. So, with men, how you start your dates with them from the beginning matters the most. What you're showing him, what you're going to put up with, what you're willing to, basically, what I want to say is if, for example, he's already splitting with you, you're going 50-50 with him, or he's telling you things that you don't really like, but you're pretending like you're okay with it, don't expect him to change afterwards when you decide, you know what, actually, I don't want him to continue with this behavior, or I don't want to continue paying. He's not going to change. He's going to be like, what, like, why would I all of a sudden change for you? You've been putting up with me for this long. You've been letting me get away with it. I've basically already slept with you. So, you know what I mean? If you're in that situation and it's possible for you to leave, I would suggest to just leave and start brand new, because the beautiful thing about us is that none of these men know what we put up through. Like, they don't know what kind of men we've dated. They don't know anything about our past. You can easily start off brand new, be a whole new person, work on yourself, and nobody knows your past. Nobody. You need to keep that low key. Who cares about what kind of guys you've dated? You can be a brand new person and just start off brand new. So that's what I want to say to the people that are still in that situation. But I just really want to get on to a lot of the things that women do from the beginning that doesn't make men really want to spoil them, treat them, pay for them, even wife them, basically. Because a lot of women do this, and I've definitely done some of these mistakes before. And yeah, they're just really, really, really important to go over, because unfortunately, not many people are going over them, so I'm gonna do it. So the first one, women for some reason have an issue with men having an ego. I don't understand why. Like, why do you care that a guy feels that he's all that? Let him think that he's all that. Let him praise himself. You should you should praise him too. His ego is the reason why you're getting paid. Literally, their ego and what they have down there are the two main things and the best things to use against them to get paid. Every woman knows that. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but like every time a guy like thinks he's all that, starts praising himself, for some reason women have this need, like they just get annoyed from it, they get mad at it, and they feel that need to compete with him, and then maybe say like, oh, I do that too, I can do that too. Oh, like they just can't let the guy feel like he's a winner. And that's why you're not getting paid. I mean, you're constantly competing with him, you're trying to prove that you're equal to him. Who cares? Honestly, I personally would not care. If I'm with him, I will praise him. I will purposely make him feel good. Even if he's stupid, I don't care. Even if he's wrong. It depends on what he's talking about, okay? Some things, they're very wrong. But, like, if it's something small, okay? If it's something small, let him just have it. Let him think that he's some king. Who cares? Literally, the thing is about men is that they remember you based on how you make them feel, not the things that you do for them. So if you truly make him feel like a king, or he around you, he feels like he's something, he's worth something, that he's the man, that's it. Like, you got him. Like, that's one of the ways to make him obsessed. And you should know that. I mean, hopefully, if you already come with experience, you know that. If you don't come with experiences, it's really important to know that their ego is the reason you're getting paid. What they have down there is why you're getting paid, and how you make them feel, how they feel around you. If they feel manly and they feel like they have a purpose, because every man wants to feel like he has a purpose. So when you start praising him, this is really important to him. Like, basically, just let them feel like they're all that. Don't like try to lower them. Don't try to compete with them. Don't try to prove that you're equal to them. Let them have their moment. Let them, have their little spotlight, and praise them and clap your hands. That's all you need to do. That is how you're going to continue getting paid. Another reason why this is important is because it lowers his guards down, okay? And that's another way of making a guy obsessed with you. Some women might not like this word, but he's going to be really into you. And it's really important for the guy, like I always say, to like you way more than you like him. So when you praise him, if he thinks that you think he's all that, he's going to lower his guards down, okay? But if you're going to compete with him and you're constantly trying to prove that you're equal and that you can do this and that you can do that, and you don't just let him feel like he's the man, he's constantly going to be in competition with you. Like his guards are always going to be up. He's going to think, especially if you show him that you're smart, girl. Like if you're going to be starting telling him all these like things that and all this like manipulation tactics and stuff, and he starts realizing that you're smart, he's not going to want to really be with you, because he will always have that feeling like he could get effed over by you. And that's why you're supposed to sit back and not really show. You can have good conversations with a person. I'm not trying to say be completely dumb where you can't even have a conversation with a person, but just having a simple conversation with a person to the point where it's just interesting doesn't really prove that you're smart. But you don't have to go out of your way. He shouldn't know that you know basically anything that I teach. All of this stuff, like he needs to think that you're like this angel who can do no wrong, basically. But like you're also kind of like, I'm not going to get into that, but basically he needs to think that you're an angel, but you're also able to fulfill his fantasy, okay? That's for another video. But that's the whole point, is basically don't go overboard with showing how smart you are on what you know. It's better for him to think that you think he's the man and that he's all that and that he's smarter than you and that you're looking up to him, and make him want to be that man, instead of him constantly having his guards up, thinking that you're going to F him over at any second. And yeah, basically lower his guards. That way you can easily get more of what you want out of him. Now, when you're on a date with him, when you're on the phone with him, listen carefully to what he says. And being a good listener is extremely important, because try to figure out what exactly he's trying to brag about, because that's usually all guys do, is they try to basically impress and they try to brag and they try to make themselves sound like they're more than what they really are. So use that against him. When he's talking about something, he's bragging about something, act fascinated, act super impressed, ask more questions about it, make him feel like you're so interested. And then trust me, just this alone, even if you don't talk about yourself and he just talks about himself all day, that alone, like even if he knows nothing about you, okay, let's pretend this is like your first date and all you did was talk about him and you act about how fascinated and interested you are, he's going to think it was the best date ever. He's going to be like, wow, me and this girl have so much chemistry. So listen carefully to what he brags about, and basically, yeah, like let him just brag about it. Let him, give him compliments. And when you compliment him as well, like never, ever, 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 ever compliment a man on his looks, on his muscles, on like things that he was already born with. Work more on complimenting him on the things that he's working on or things that he worked on. You know what I mean? Like if he likes to play the piano, I don't know, and he's been practicing to play the piano, compliment him on that. If he, I don't know, really likes to do soccer on the side, like it's like a fun sport for him, compliment him on that. Like compliment him on like things that he's working on, okay, not things that he was born with. Because honestly, never ever ever compliment a guy on his looks, okay? That is how you turn them into women. I never in my life ever 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 told a guy that he's good looking or that he knows how to dress or that, I don't know, that he has great muscles. The only time I ever bring up muscle is like when he like carries something or does something that involves strength. That's when I'll be like, oh, you're so strong. You know what I mean? Just to make him feel like he's the man. But like girls, never ever tell them that they're like good looking, okay? That is the fastest way to turn them into women. Now, ladies, if you're talking to them online, it's a little more difficult. See, that's the thing I'm not a huge fan of, because I'm not very good with online. I mean, I have gotten money out of men online, but it's a lot harder. And with me, when I meet someone in person, I can literally, I'm telling you, and I'm not trying to brag or act like I'm all that, but I'm very good with making a connection with the person when I meet them in person. It doesn't matter who they are. Me and that person can have absolutely nothing in common, complete different mindset, and I can still make them fall in love with me. Like, I really don't know how I do it, but I'm telling you, when it's over the computer, it's hard. But when I see that person in person, I can literally make you fall in love with me. And that's one thing that I'm very like glad about, because like every job interview I've never gotten a no yet. And if I did get a no, it would definitely hurt my ego. But I've always been able to impress people when I met them in person, because I always know exactly how to connect with that person and how to get them to be really in love with me. So with guys as well, and you will be able to get into that. Like, it's not hard to do. All you need is a little bit of experience, but I'm just trying to tell you is that all you need is that one date. If you got that one date in person, he sees you in person, you have that date, that's all it takes for him to become obsessed. You don't need to have multiple dates, you don't need to see him for months. One date is all it will take. So basically, yeah, when you have that date, you have to show up looking like a 10, okay? Like, first off, make sure he takes you on a good date, okay? Don't get all dressed up for nothing. But, basically do what a man can't do. And I've said that multiple times in my other videos, but this is really important, because men are visual creatures. And this has to be repeated, because this is how you get your foot in the door, is how you dress, how you smell, how you carry yourself, how you have a conversation, how you act interested in him. You'll have to literally do everything that a man doesn't do for him to want to spoil you. He needs to remember that you're not a man. He can't treat you like a man. He needs to treat you like a woman. He needs to spoil you like you're a woman. So you need to come in there wearing that dress, wearing that skirt, wearing those heels, having your nails done, having your hair done nicely, makeup, perfume, and just, act interested. Sit back, relax, enjoy your time with him, act interested, and fascinated. Let him brag about himself, and that's it. He's obsessed. Now, of course, you have to be his type. You might not be his type, yada yada, but all you really need is that one date to make him obsessed, and then from there take on all the other advice that I'm telling you, where you let him have the spotlight, let him brag about himself. And I'm going to continue on with other things as well, but this I just had to add this information in. Now think about this. When dogs do something good, something that we wanted them to do, what do? Our voices get high, we start getting all happy. Same thing with men, you have to do that. When they do something that you like, when they're being good, you need to do that too. Your voice needs to start getting high. You need to be like happy about it, show him appreciation, because I don't know, I'm reading a lot of the comments and a lot of the things that women are saying, and even some of my friends say this too, and I agree, is that we shouldn't have to tell them what to do. They should already know themselves, but you can't really expect them to do these things anymore, because look at the kind of women we have. And a lot of the women even now who follow me, their past wasn't all that great either. They also used to sleep around with men for free and do all this for free and be that whole pick Misha. So why are you all of a sudden expecting him to know how he's supposed to act, when most women basically give everything up for free and they act like pick Mishas? Like, this is why men treat women the way they treat them, because a lot of women let them get away with it. A lot of women put up with that behavior. A lot of women basically, there's just not much you can do about it. So that is why you have to train them from the beginning. Like, you just have to do this. Some of them will already know. Sometimes you don't even have to do this. Some of them actually already know. But it doesn't kill. Like, men like that. They really do. Even if they already know they're supposed to do this, if they do it and they start seeing your voice getting all high and you're getting happy and you're showing appreciation, they need that. If you're going to be expecting it from him, let's say he buys you something and you're not showing how much you appreciate it, he's slowly not going to want to really do it. And if another girl runs into him and he maybe starts spoiling her and she starts showing all that appreciation, Believe me, he's going to leave you to be with her. They just want to feel like the man, so just let them feel like the man, you know? So this is also really important. Little things like making him open something, opening up a jar, getting him to carry something, asking for help or advice. This makes them feel good about themselves. They feel needed. They want to feel needed. So basically, I'm just telling you based on my experience, like based on how a lot of these guys were spending on me, like what I had to do to make these guys spend on me, become obsessed with me, and how they stuck around was because they felt like beside me they had purpose, they were needed, they felt more manly. You know, like these little things do really matter. So it's something that you should practice on as well and just see how it works with you. Especially like let's say if he's a gentleman, opening up doors, pouring in your drink, pulling out your chair. You know, at the end of the day, you can also tell him how he like you're so like you love how he's a gentleman. You know, like these things when you praise them for it, when you compliment them, they want to do it more because they think, okay, if she likes this, she's complimenting me on this, this is going to get me closer to getting laid. And every man, you know, like his end goal is to get laid. So that's what you do. Basically compliment him on the things that he's doing right. Let him continue doing it. And yeah, obviously don't sleep with him so he can actually fall in love with you. But this is very important, you know. Usually when they carry something for me, what I do is I grab onto like, I like grab their muscle, I squeeze it, and I just tell them how like, oh, like you're so strong. And you know, this also helps. Like I'm telling you, like these little things, if you're a beginner and you usually don't do this, it might sound annoying, but this is so worth doing because I'm telling you that this really, like, they just want to be with you even more. Well, every woman has her little niche, basically the role that she plays to get whatever it is that she wants out of a man. It really just depends on what exactly you want out of him, but I'll tell you what I do. Basically, I enjoy more having men long term. And I realized for me, what works best is acting like the good girl. I act stupid when needed. And I go for a sexy, classy look. So when I dress, I don't go for the wifey kind of look, like, you know, those very like modest dresses with heels, which also looks very beautiful, but I don't really go for that. I don't mind showing a little more skin, but it won't be too much. Like I won't go for too short, a dress that's too short. You know what I mean? Like I don't try to make it to look too sexy. I try to make it more sexy, classy. And then I go off as with the good girl personality. So a little bit of an example would be this one time when I was hanging out with this guy. We were having a date, and then afterwards he wanted me to meet his friend. And when we met his friend was bringing up how he's on Tinder and he was planning to meet up with some girl and sleep with her. And I pretended to be stupid. Of course, I know that there is women on Tinder ready to sleep around. This doesn't surprise me, but I pretended like I was shocked. I was like, what? There's women out there who will just let you get in their house just like that? Now, the guy that I was with, I've been dating him for a while. Like, he spent a lot of money on me, and of course, I wanted it to be, you know, I had to put on that persona since I was already playing the good girl, so I had to act a little stupid. And his friend was like, yeah, but you know what? It's really, like, he looked at his friend who I was already on a date with. He was like, wow, you know what? Like, it's really good that she doesn't know that women like that exist. That shows that she has, like, a good circle. That's literally, he told that to him in front of my face. Now, hopefully he actually meant that and he's not just, like, you know, being sarcastic, but it worked for me. Like, I'll tell you what, I benefit a lot from that with playing the good girl, playing the moral girl, and dressing up that sexy, classy, because I feel like that look gives more of that fantasy, and then that moral girl gives more of that, okay, she doesn't sleep around. Like, you get what I mean? It's like kind of an in-between. Like, she's a good girl, and then he can also like fantasize about me. And obviously the more dates I have with that person, the more I become open and a little more, like, I start teasing a little more. Obviously, still, I'm not going to sleep with them. until I get what I want. But that's usually kind of the niche that I go for. Like, that's kind of the role that I go for, and that works for me literally like 99.9% of the time. It is better to basically not sleep with them. And when they don't think that you sleep around, it's a huge plus, because men treat women, if a man knows he's gonna get what he wants out of you easily, he's gonna treat you like crap. It's better to just make him build up that respect. So yeah, it really just depends on what exactly you're looking for, because obviously if you're a sex worker, you can't really expect to go out with the guy knowing when he knows that you're a sex worker, and then expect him to want to wife you up. I feel like if you're in sex work and then you want to be also a wife, you have to kind of separate those lives. Like, you have to go on dates and they don't know what you do for a living. It's very hard for a guy to want to marry you when he knows that other men are sleeping with you. A lot of guys also, when I had a conversation with them about this, they told me that the real reason why is not because they think that you're, and I don't even know if I can say this word on YouTube, but it's not because they think you're an HOE. It's more so because they're worried that you've slept with somebody who is better than them, and that for some reason, like, they're not able to deal with that. They're worried that you might have been with someone who has more experience and they'd be terrible in bed. So apparently that's the reason why, and I believe that. So yeah, I just keep myself more low-key. I act like the good girl. My voice is obviously different. It doesn't even sound like this on YouTube. Like, my voice here on YouTube, the way it sounds like in real life is completely different. This is more like how I talk to with my friends. When I talk to men, it's a lot higher, and definitely I give more of that good girl vibe. So yeah. And just to add on, the reason why I also act, I already mentioned I act like a good girl, moral, dress sexy, classy, and then act also not show off too much of my intelligence, is not because I don't want to be intimidated. It's more so because men feel more comfortable marrying women who, like, you know how men always say they want a good girl who's a freak in the sheets, basically, like a good girl in the streets, a freak in the sheets, something like that. I can't remember exactly how they say it, but like, you get what I mean. So you try to give that image, and not showing off that you're too smart is also what makes them want to marry you more. Because nowadays, I mean, look, the court favors women in most countries, and in most cases they think, like, if I get married to her, I think the biggest scare for them is their money, and them fearing that they're going to lose a lot. Which usually is what happens. So acting like the stupid girl will definitely lower their guards more. You'll be able to see who he is as a person. He's going to be able to open up to you more, and he won't be as worried with marrying you. Because, yeah, I don't know. It is true that smart women do intimidate, and men are just more careful with them. Like, they always think, okay, she could probably, like, F me over. So it's better to just not show off how smart you are, and make him think whatever he wants to think. I don't even care. I would rather him think that I'm the stupid wife who sits at home and paints nails all day. Like, I have nothing to prove. I know that I'm smart. I know that I'm gonna be, like, I can easily basically, you know, show you who's the smart one if we were to end up in a divorce, because I know what I'm doing. So I have no reason to prove. I honestly think that people who are rich don't need to prove that they're rich. People who are smart don't need to prove that they're smart. People who look good don't need to brag about being good looking. Like, you just know. You know, when you know, you know. It's the same thing. When a guy knows he has, you know, a big thing down there, he doesn't need to brag about it, doesn't need to talk about it. He knows. That's why the quiet guys are always the best in bed. But that's for a different... that's going too far. But you get what I mean. It's basically like, why do you care about him thinking that you're stupid? Because I realize that so many women care. All you have to do is just keep up a good conversation. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to prove anything. Like, just enjoy your time with him. Have fun. Be fun. I don't really know many guys who truly just want to talk about, like, work all day and what they do for work. Some of them just want to feel young and just have fun and just enjoy life. So that's all you need to do. Like, you just gotta put yourself as that person. Make him think that he's gonna get that out of you. And then once he's married, too late. You do what you want to do afterwards. I mean, obviously don't ruin his life, but I'm just saying, like, that already, like, that image will already give you what you want. So if you can work up to that image, you'll get a lot in life. Now, another thing I want to add in is a lot of you need to learn how to choose your battles. Like, a lot of you do not know how to choose your battles. You literally get so emotional over every little thing. You fight over every little thing. You start getting stressed over every little thing. And it's just, I don't know how you do it. It's not worth it. I'm telling you, learn which battles are worth, getting stressed over. Because whenever you meet a person, it doesn't matter who you live with, every person comes with flaws. Every single person will have something that you don't like about them. I will have like a lot of things that I don't like about you. You will have a lot of things that you don't like about me. You will have things that you don't like about your family, about your, siblings, boss, co-workers, even your best friends. It doesn't matter who you live with, everyone comes with flaws. So you have to figure out which flaws you're able to put up with. And really, like, I'm telling you, if you're somebody who constantly fights, constantly gets stressed, constantly cries, he's never going to want to help you, because every time he gets stressed or mad or cry, he's gonna be like, here she goes again. And I told you this, if you listen to my other videos, I say this all the time, is that it's very important to learn how to control your emotions and figure out when it's best to use them. Because I'm telling you, if you barely show off that you're mad or that you cry and so on, when he does see you cry, when he does see you get upset, believe me, he's going to drop everything to help you, because he's not used to seeing you like that. You need to get him to that reaction. You have to make sure that you're not one of those people who constantly stresses out and cries. Because I'm telling you, a lot of you get mad over nothing. Even, for example, one of my friends, her husband, he has this like little trauma thingy where he used to live. They had like a shortage of water, and ever since he had like an issue with the water running for no reason. And even people who don't have trauma have an issue with this, okay? Like, some people don't like it to be on. Like, if you're not using it, why leave it on? So whatever, and he had an issue with that. So he basically, whenever she washed the dishes, she would wash the dishes and she would leave the tap on for a while. And even when she's not washing them and she's taking a break, it doesn't matter. Like, he didn't like that. He wanted it. He's not cheap. He's always spoiled her, but for some reason he has trauma with water specifically. I don't know, it's super weird, but who cares? And he wanted her to basically wash the dishes when she washes, like, only use the water when it's needed to be used. And I told her, I was like, and she would start fighting with him. She would start screaming and throwing things and crying and saying how annoying he is. I'm like, girl, like, why? Like, this isn't even a big deal. Honestly, and I told her, I'm like, if you were to just tell him, wash the dishes yourself then, would he have washed the dishes? She's like, yeah. I'm like, so let him wash the dishes. Tell him, like, literally when he comes to you and starts annoying you, you tell him nicely. Be like, that's okay. Do you want to wash the dishes then? And if he takes over the dishes, go sleep. Like, why are you all so stressed? I just want to know. Like, a lot of you are literally starting to cry and get mad over every little thing. Who cares? If he doesn't like something or something is annoying you, let him do it. That is not worth fighting over. You know what's worth fighting over? What's worth effing a guy over is if he cheats on you. That's way more serious. And if you haven't seen my video, watch that video. If he does end up cheating on you, what you should do and how you can get more out of him. But besides that, find things that are more serious, so you can use that against him to get what you want. Okay, but little things like that, you can easily turn that against him and make life easier for you. Like, for example, like I told her, the whole dish situation, the dishes. Why are you making it more difficult for yourself? Why are you stressing out? Literally, let him wash the dishes and go sleep. It's really not a big deal. So really, learn how to control the emotions. And if he's annoying or upsetting you and it's a small thing, ignore him. Like, silent treatment always works. Literally give him silent treatment. Make him beg, asking you, what did I do? And believe me, he's gonna change that up, because guys respond to silent treatment way more than when you start yelling at them or you're getting aggressive. If you get aggressive, it's gonna be turned against you. Like, he's just not gonna want to do anything that you ask him for. So don't even expect to be spoiled. Like, he's just gonna resent you even more. You need to just basically give him silent treatment, and silent treatment always works on men, okay? Now, I also want to mention that there's this one dating coach that one of the girls sent me who I didn't really. He's not bad. He gives good advice, but he teaches women basically to be cold. And I just want you to understand that being cold, will it get you, like, will he want to be with you? Yes, playing hot and cold does, but it's just not smart because you're not going to keep him long term. Either he's very, like, he has issues. I don't know, maybe his mom was, like, not present in his life, and that's usually why they're into that. Or I don't know, but, like, usually, yes, it's true that men are addicted to pain. The women that men can't get over are the women who, cause them the most pain. But you're not going to be able to keep him long term, and it's just going to be a very toxic on and off relationship. And if you start acting like your normal self, it's just off. That's all I'm saying, because if you two end up getting married and you two end up living together, you can't play these games anymore. The only time I suggest ever playing those games, the hot and cold games, is when he actually does something wrong. That's when you're gonna trigger him even more. So don't start it from the beginning. A lot of you, if you're gonna be listening to that guy, you need to know when to use those tactics and when to actually bring them in place, because honestly, if the guy's being good, there's no reason for you to treat him like that. And now that I got that out of the way, I realized that a lot of men do care about what women like, the words that come out of your mouth, like just like how men teach other men to tell women what they want to hear. Women should be doing the exact same thing. For example, this one guy who was my favorite and is still my favorite, he has a bad habit of smoking cigarettes, and I can't stand cigarettes. So yeah, I already know where I stand with him, and I know that he's not going anywhere. Like, I already know that this guy's like super obsessed with me, yada yada. So I literally when we had the conversation about cigarettes, I never tell guys what to do. I never say you have to stop it, yada yada. They don't like that. Okay? I usually try to make it more like, I just remember I looked at him and I was like, telling him, I'm like, how much it hurts me that he smokes cigarettes, and how much I care about him, and I care about his health, and how short life is. And like, I just started bringing all that up, and like, I just I just made my face like I'm just sad, and and that alone was perfect, because I just saw how big his eyes got. And guys do care about these things. Like, when you tell him things like that, like telling them that you care about them, that you appreciate them, like, these little things do matter, especially if they already have feelings for you. So definitely make sure that you add that in. And I'm telling you, literally, like, I just realized afterwards, like, a week passed by and he did not smoke for a while. Like, a few weeks he hasn't been smoking, and I remember he never talked about it. I remember noticing that, and I told him, like, whoa, like, you haven't been smoking. And he told me that, after the talk that I had with him, he felt really, like, sad about that, and he wanted to quit. Like, and that, hopefully he's not lying to me, but that's a good sign if that's true. So yeah, hitting their, like, emotional spot and just showing them that you care, bringing up their bad habit, not telling them what to do, but, like, showing that it hurts you and that you just want the best for them, like, like, that already will get you even closer. I'm telling you, like, if this guy is already trying to change for you and become better, he's going to be more obsessed. Like, the things that guys do for you, that's how they realize how much they care about you. The amount of money they spent on you, when they spend money on you, when they, spend time on you, when they put all this effort, all of this really matters. That's how they know where you stand for them. Anyways, I just want to end this by saying to basically treat dating like a game, don't get offended. Men are men. They're never going to be like us. They're never going to think like us. We can't get mad. We just need to accept them for who they are. If you notice that he's trying to manipulate you, honestly, don't ever tell him that you know what he's doing. If it's too much for you and you're just annoyed and you're realizing that you're not going to get what you want out of him, cut him off. If you know that you're going to get what you want out of him, I would just say play along with him. Act stupid, interested, fascinated, but don't sleep with him. Just make him think that, sex is around the corner. That's what keeps them around. Really, like, let him think that he's in control, that he has a spotlight, that he's smart, That way his guards were lowered down. It's going to be way easier for you in the end. And honestly, like really, in the end, no matter how stupid he thinks you are, there's no reason for you to prove that you're smart or that you know anything. Like, have fun, make him feel young, all these little things. That's all they need. It's not that complicated. And yeah, like if you two in the end, don't work out and things end between you two, his minus in his bank account is gonna show him who's really the smart one all along.